They compelled a passerby who was coming in from the country to carry his cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus.
Jesus, I can only imagine the awful weight of that cross that you carry. It is not just the weight of beams of wood that presses down on you. It is also the weight of the burden you carry for those whom you have loved. You came to offer them life, and yet they return only death. So I see you fall from the crushing weight of pain and grief. I don't know how many times you have fallen, but I know that your physical strength is failing. The soldiers must recognize this as well, because they forced a man from the crowd to help you carry the cross the rest of the way to the place where you will be crucified. Perhaps they are afraid that you will die before you make it to the top of the hill. The man of Cyrene was just a bystander passing through on his way into town from the countryside, and yet he bears the weight of the cross to save your strength. I would like to think that if I had been there, I would have rushed from the crowd and volunteered to carry that cross for you. But would I have had the courage to face the Roman soldiers and risk being forced to join you on a cross? Would I have really been so eager to share your cross if it meant that I might have to die on one as well? Would I have been willing to risk everything to ease your suffering for a few moments by letting you know that you are not alone? Besides, I have my own crosses already. I have as much as I can bear without taking on the added burdens of others. And what would people think of me if I were seen consorting with criminals and enemies of Rome in such a public spectacle? So instead of offering to help, I tried to become invisible in the crowd. And when the soldiers were looking around for someone to press into service, I looked away and pretended not to notice what was happening. It is easy to pretend not to see the needs, the grief, and the suffering around me every day. It is easy to pretend not to hear the cries for help that come in many forms for those among whom I walk every day. It is easy to convince myself that I am too busy or too tired or have too much on my plate already to get involved in the lives of others. There are simply too many who need too much. And yet I remember something that you said, something about taking up my own cross and following you. You said something about becoming a servant of all, of putting myself last and others first. Is this what it means to be a servant? Jesus, are you showing me what it means to be that kind of servant? Is this man from Cyrene modeling for me the path of discipleship? Must Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free? No, there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me.
O Lord, forgive me for becoming so preoccupied with myself that I have become deaf and blind to the grief and suffering of those around me. Forgive me for my indifference. Constantly remind me that I cannot love you without loving others as well. Help me always remember that to be a follower of yours, that I share in the burden of others. Lord, show me someone whose cross I may help carry. O Lord, hear our prayers.